Hi guys and welcome to another Fool of the Week. This week's Fool is Scottish MP Katrina Murray. Now, she stood up in the House of Commons on Wednesday ahead of the budget and during pmqs and complained about a promise she claims the Scottish Government made when it came to an aspect of the NHS in her constituency. She then asked the Prime Minister to make an assurance that he can't actually make. Pretty wacky stuff, have a listen.
Cumbernauld in my constituency was promised an elective and diagnostic treatment centre by the Scottish Government in 2021. This has continued to be delayed and is now alleged to be mothballed. What assurances can the Prime Minister give me that any barney consequentials from today's budget are used to benefit my constituents and not be held on to by the Scottish Government?
Yeah. Okay, look, first of all, it's important that MPs ask questions on behalf of their constituents. But those questions have to be relevant to Westminster. See, what's the problem here? She's talking about an aspect of the Scottish Government, not Westminster. So the NHS is devolved in Scotland. So what she's doing is she's asking a question about the NHS in Westminster when she's from Scotland. This makes no sense whatsoever. Keir Starmer or even West Streeting is not in a position to answer questions about the NHS in Scotland. She needs to take her grievance, and maybe it's a legitimate grievance, she needs to take that grievance to the Scottish Government, not to the Westminster Government. And second, when it comes to funding, and she's saying here, well, can I make sure that the funding is not held on by the Scottish Government? No, Keir Starmer can't answer that question either, because this funding goes directly to the Scottish Government. They decide how it's spent. Keir Starmer doesn't decide how that money is spent, West Streeting doesn't decide how that money is spent, and this MP doesn't decide. This is money that goes to the Scottish Government. They decide whether to spend it on the NHS or on transport or whatever. Now, I don't know if this MP doesn't understand this, which is a major problem, or she's pretending not to understand this and she's just trying to take some pot shots at the Scottish Government. But what is the value in doing that? Because you're in Westminster, you should be representing your constituents on the Westminster level. There are many questions you can ask the government when it comes to your constituency. But if it's something related to a devolved matter, you're wasting time. Time that you could use to ask questions on behalf of your constituents that you could perhaps get an answer for.
Well, I thank my honourable friend for her question. I'm sorry to hear about the delays affecting her constituents. The party opposite oversaw years of mismanagement and chaos, and the impact on Scottish NHS is evident. This Labour government is committed to delivering for the Scottish people, including making sure that we have an NHS fit for the future. The Chancellor will set out details in just a few moments.
Okay, I'm not sure what he's trying to answer to here because it's completely irrelevant. Keir Starmer has no control over the NHS in Scotland. He has no control over how the Scottish Government spends its money. So it was a bit of a pointless question from our Fool of the Week. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you next time for our next Fool of the Week.